Hello, I'm Joseph Dillard. Welcome to the IDL video curricula. This is a guided adolescent interviewing protocol, although it can be used with anyone of any age. Here we go. Is there anything you'd like to change in your life? Is there anything else? Is there anything else? Have you ever had an interesting or scary dream? Tell me. Why do you think that you had this dream? If it were playing in a theater, what name would be on the marquee? Now think about the characters in this dream. Not just the people, but cars, trees, roads, clouds, houses, fire hydrants, objects, kitchen stoves, whatever. Of those characters, which character are you most curious about? Now pretend that you're that character, okay? Kind of pretending you did when you were 5 or 6 and played whatever, policeman, cowboy, nurse, teacher, whatever. So character, I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? We don't want to hear from your human. We can hear from them later, but right now we want to hear just from you, all right? So character, where are you in this dream? What are you doing? Character, what do you like most about yourself in this dream? Character, what do you dislike most about yourself? Character, what part of your human are you most like? Character, if you could be anywhere you wanted to be and take any shape you desired, would you change? If so, how? So character, if you do choose to change, is that you wanting to change, or is it something your human wants? Don't change if it's not something you want. Or change in a way that you want, if you do want to change. So character, or change character. Do you ever get scared? If you're scared all the time, give yourself a 0. Give yourself a 10 if you're never afraid. Or if you're sometimes afraid, sometimes not, give yourself a score in between, 5, 8, 7, whatever. And why? Why did you give yourself, character, whatever score you gave? Character. How much do you care? Give yourself a 10 if you care about everyone or are always loving toward everyone, including yourself. And give yourself a 0 if you're mad all the time and never give yourself or anybody any love, any caring. Or if you're sometimes caring, sometimes not, what number is that? An 8, 7, 3? Whatever it is, why do you give yourself that number? Character. How wise are you? Give yourself a 10 if you always know what to do and say. Give yourself a 0 if you never do. Or perhaps you're some number in between. Whatever it is, why do you choose that number? Character. How accepting are you? Give yourself a 10 if you accept everyone, including yourself. Give yourself a 0 if you reject everyone, including yourself. Or maybe you accept others and not yourself. Maybe you accept yourself and not others. What number do you give yourself and why? Character. How at peace are you? Give yourself a 10 if you're always deeply at peace. Give yourself a 0 if you're never peaceful, if you're stressed out all the time, character. If you're somewhere in between, what number would that be? And why do you give yourself the answer that you do, character? Character. How objective are you? Give yourself a 10 if you can always watch the drama of life and not get caught up in it. Drama is when you feel attacked or a victim or wish you could be rescued. Give yourself a 0 if you're always caught up in life dramas. If you are sometimes, other times not, give yourself some other number, 3, 8, 7, whatever. And why do you give yourself whatever score you give yourself? And character. If your human scored like you do in all 6 of these qualities, would his or her life be different? And if so, how? Character. If you could live your human's life for him or her, would you live it differently? And if so, how? Character. If you were your human, how would you deal with the first thing that he or she listed above that he or she wants to change? Would you handle it the same way or would you handle it differently? And if so, how? Character. If you were your human, how would you deal with the second thing he or she wants to change? Character. If you were your human, how would you deal with the third thing he or she wants to change? Character. Why do you think that your human had this dream? Character, if there was something strange or unusual or not understood that happened in this dream, why do you think it happened? Character, would it ever be helpful for your human to imagine that she or he is you and act as you would? When? Character, how is your human most likely to ignore what you are saying? What would you recommend that he or she do about that? Thank you, character. Now I have some questions for your human. So, what have you heard yourself say? What did you hear this character say to you? Were you given any suggestions, any recommendations you could use, you could change to make your life better? What? What could you do differently this week to test what this character says, to see if his or her recommendations make your life better? If this experience were a wake-up call to make your life better, what do you think it would be saying to you? What can I do, or what can the person who interviewed you do to help you with those changes you want to make? Thanks for watching. See you next time.